Welcome to Music Legends and the stories behind them. Today we will be giving you an insight into a legend of the American music scene. A woman that was not going to be content with one genre in music, the amazing Chaka Kahn. What if one voice was too explosive for a single genre to contain? Chaka Kahn didn't just sing. She used a scorched earth vibrato to dismantle the rigid boundaries of funk, jazz, and rock. Today, we decode how her technical rebellion redefined power and shattered every industry archetype designed to silence her. The story of Chaka Kahn begins not with a stage, but with a birth in the heart of Chicago. Born Yvette Marie Stevens on March 23, 1953, she was raised on the South Side, in a household where art was the air she breathed. Her father, a man who lived for jazz, instilled in her a technical curiosity for rhythm and improvisation. Her grandmother, meanwhile, provided the soul, introducing Yvette to the vocal greats, the haunting sustain of Billie Holiday and the power of gospel. It was here, in this artistic melting pot, that the mechanics of a sonic revolution were first assembled. By the age of 11, Yvette was already demanding a place in the spotlight. Alongside her sister, Takaboom, she formed the Crystalettes. Even as a child, she refused to play the role of the passive singer. She was learning to utilize technical mastery across octaves that most adults couldn't touch. As she entered her teenage years, Yvette's rebellious spirit found a sharper edge. Before the world knew her as a funk icon, they knew her as an activist. She joined the Black Panther Party in Chicago, working on free breakfast programs for children. This was the fire before the fuse was lit. It was during this period of radical change that a Yoruba priest gave her the name that would change everything. Chaka. It means woman of fire. She took the surname Kahn from her first husband, and the transformation was complete. Chaka Kahn was born. She possessed a vibration, a sound so intense it felt as though it could physically alter the atmosphere. She was done with the polished standards of the era. She was ready to bring her own fire to the studio. Our journey has only just begun. Next, we look at the moment that fire met the magic of Stevie Wonder and the breakthrough of Rufus. The fire that started in the streets of Chicago was about to find its home on stage. By 1972, Chaka had left behind the activism of the Black Panthers to chase the vibration she felt in her soul. She was singing in local clubs, a teenager with a voice that sounded like it had lived 1,000 years. It didn't take long for the world to notice. Caught in that voice's orbit was Rufus, a multiracial funk group that was looking for a spark. In Chaka, they found a son. Becoming their frontwoman wasn't just a career move, it was the birth of a funk icon. But the industry still needed convincing. Labels didn't know how to categorize this genre-fluid energy until a legend stepped into the room. Stevie Wonder heard the mechanics of Chaka's voice, the scorched earth vibrato, the 4-octave power, and he knew exactly what to do. He wrote, "Tell me something good specifically for her." When the track dropped in 1974, it didn't just climb the charts, it shattered the archetypes of what a female-led funk group could achieve. It earned Rufus their first Grammy, and cemented Chaka as a technical elite. She wasn't just a singer, she was a sonic revolution in a designer dress. With hits like Once You Get Started and the definitive funk anthem Ain't Nobody 70s. Yet, behind the Grammys and the gold records, a new rebellion was brewing. Chaka refused to be the passive backup singer the industry expected. She demanded equal footing in the studio and on the stage. The breakthrough was complete, but the industry prototype was still standing. Next, we see how Chaka Kahn decided to break that prototype once and for all by stepping out on her own. In 1978, the fire that had fueled Rufus was ready to burn on its own terms. Chaka Kahn launched her solo career, not just as a singer, but as a strategic architect of her own autonomy. The industry prototype tried to hold her back, with male-dominated label structures resisting her uninhibited stage presence. But Chaka had a manifesto of her own. Her debut solo single, I'm Every Woman, became an instant anthem of empowerment. It was a declaration that one voice could indeed contain every soul, every struggle, and every triumph. Even a young Whitney Houston, singing background vocals on the track, was feeling the vibration of a pioneer at work. As the 80s arrived, Chaka didn't just maintain her status. She pivoted into global pop superstardom. The 1984 album, I Feel For You, was a technical masterclass in genre fluidity. The title track, originally penned by Prince, featured an iconic rap intro by Mel Mel and the unmistakable harmonica of Stevie Wonder. It was a multi-platinum crossover event that baffled critics, but cemented Chaka as a technical elite who refused to be pigeonholed. But it wasn't just the high-energy funk that defined her solo era. She released the sweeping, timeless ballad, Through the Fire, a song that demanded a physical and emotional mastery few could replicate. It was so foundational that decades later, it would launch the career of a young Kanye West, proving that Chaka's lineage was permanent. She was breaking records, and she was breaking the industry prototype by staying raw and uninhibited, a stark contrast to the sanitized, hyper-feminized images of her contemporary peers. Chaka Kahn had become the architect of modern rebellion, but behind the multi-platinum glitz of global fame, a more personal struggle was brewing. Her story was about to become a story of survival. Behind the glitz of the Grammys and the multi-platinum world tours, Chaka Kahn was fighting a different kind of technical battle. This was a story of survival. For years, she openly battled severe drug and alcohol addiction, an experience that threatened to silence her voice. In 2003, she laid it all bare in her autobiography, Chaka, Through the Fire. It wasn't just a memoir, it was a raw testament. It was a raw, uninhibited testament to a woman who refused to be broken. Her recovery didn't just save her life, it unlocked versatility. In 2008, Chaka made her Broadway debut, stepping into the role of Sophia in The Color Purple. Critics were once again baffled. Critics were baffled by her technical elite status on a theatrical stage. She proved that the mechanics of her voice were boundless. Today, Chaka Kahn's legacy is a foundational architect for modern rebellion. She never stopped experimenting, collaborating across genres from jazz to hip-hop. Her voice hasn't just earned 10 Grammy Awards, it created a permanent space for the unapologetic female voice in the global zeitgeist. From Whitney Houston to Mary J. Blige, to the newest independent artists who prioritize raw emotion over digital perfection, the lineage remains. Chaka Kahn didn't just survive the fire, she became it. Ever defiant, ever legendary, she reminds us that technical mastery requires power of spirit. Our final chapter concludes with the lasting blueprint she has left for the global music independent artist today. Thanks for joining us in the bar tonight. We hope you enjoyed these stories behind the legends. Please like and subscribe to help us improve the channel. Stay tuned for our next episode. See you next time.